We're here to teach you a little bit about rope climbs. I'm Chris and this is my colleague Grant. We're both coaching at Cape CrossFit and we're here to show you a few progressions that you can use in terms of getting stronger by using a rope climb into your workout. So the reason why we want to put rope climbs into your workout is because it's a great strengthener for actually both your upper and lower body. Many people think about the rope climb as a pulling exercise, and it definitely is, so it will make your pulling muscle stronger, shoulders, arms and so on as well. But at the same time we want to become so efficient by using our lower body at the same time that we can do more repetitions in a workout, for instance. But we're going to start with the very easy progression already from the ground, where we actually are using our upper body to create some pulling strength that will help us when we start climbing the rope fully later on. So if Grant takes a squatting stance where he's holding onto the rope, getting as low as possible but still getting some assistance from his legs, we can see that he wants to use a full arm pull where he's pulling himself up to a standing position. The longer he can use his pull, the stronger his arms are going to get right here. And then we can lower ourselves down in the same way. So we can get all the way down to that kind of position and then using a pull up as well. The next part of this progression, when we're getting strong enough, is to lie down. We lie flat on our back, legs are straight, and the goal is to be able to keep your body completely straight, which may be hard in the beginning. But from this position with a straight body, Grant will pull himself up to a standing position, using upper body pulling strength only. Once he's standing up, he can then lower himself down in the same way to also build strength on the way down. Great stuff. Once we master this and we're strong enough, we're going to start taking a look at how we can actually climb the rope if you stand up. The first test we want to do is to make sure that we can actually hold on to the rope. So I'm going to ask Grant to reach up as high as he can with straight arms. I want him to hold on to the rope and actually lift his feet. If he can hang like this, I can actually teach him to climb the rope. Right? What we want to do now is figuring out how we're going to use our feet for a strong and safe lock that will allow you to climb the rope with using your arms as little as possible. And the trick is to reach up as high as possible, like I said. We're going to keep the rope between our feet and we're going to wrap the rope around so it comes back on the front side of his foot. From here, he's going to stand on top of that rope and that's how the rope is locked in. Grant can here let go of one arm if he wants to, because this is a strong foot lock that allows him to keep the feet in tension and keeping him up on the rope. From here what he does is reaching as high as he can, he lets go of the lock and kicks himself up to another lock as high as possible. The higher he can get his feet, the more he can get a stand up, pretty much like a squat almost, up to the next position. And then he can do the same thing, trying to keep his arms straight, kicking the rope high, standing up. Once we reach the top of the rope, depending on how high that is, we want to use the same way of coming down, so Grant will move his hands down. He will lower his legs and find a new grip. And then he will do the same thing until he has reached the ground again. One thing that is really important is to watch out. Don't jump down, because if you land on the rope, you may actually twist an ankle, so much rather climb down the rope, just like Grant demonstrated right there. Once we master the skill of using our feet for a foot lock, there is actually another way that we can call a little bit more of an advanced foot lock as well. If Grant reaches up for the rope is going to stay on the outside of his leg this time, or outside of his foot, and he's going to wrap it underneath himself or underneath that foot and stand on top. After this, he does the same thing, so he can stand up and just go for a much faster rope climb, which may be great for us if we're using this in a competitive session, for instance. So if you want to show us a full speed one. Here we can even use a little bit of momentum by jumping up, getting our foot lock in, standing up, getting another foot lock in and standing, and so on as well. Like I said, in a competitive setting, this would probably be much faster if you know how to use that foot lock. It's just a little bit more advanced in terms of how we're locking the rope with our feet. Rope climbing can be a lot of fun, and it's a great tool in terms of functional strength, both for upper body and lower body. Like I said, you can incorporate it into your workouts and so on. However, be smart. Avoid climbing too high until you feel comfortable with different foot wraps. Make sure that you don't jump down and land on the rope for your ankle's sake. And a lot of athletes choose to use long socks for the sake of the possibility of some nasty rope burns if you don't. Have fun.